Hello everyone, welcome back to Fitness, Nutrition and Soul channel. And so I just decided to change a little bit. Instead of making just the whiteboard presentation, I just thought to give a try for the PowerPoint presentation. Please let me know in the end if you really like it. So today I've chosen the topic about the thyroid. And so let's have a look at what are the functions of the thyroids and what are the food sources. So first of all, I would like to put a disclaimer that the content in this presentation is strictly for educational and informational purposes and is not intended to be advised or recommended of any kind whatsoever. So pretty much before you commence any new training, diet plan or anything which is mentioned in this presentation, you should consult the medical practitioner. So let's have a look. To understand what is thyroid function, we need to see how does the thyroid actually release in the body. So you got the hypothalamus, which is in your brain, and then you got the pituitary gland, which is again just a little bit below the hypothalamus. Then the hypothalamus is divided into the anterior pituitary gland and posterior pituitary gland. So they are the ones actually who gives a signal to the body to release the hormone, at least to most of the hormones. So for example, hypothalamus it sends the TRH, which is the thyroid releasing hormone. Then it goes to the pituitary gland, and especially to the anterior pituitary gland, which actually tells to release the thyroid stimulating hormone. And then it gives a signal to the thyroid gland, which sits somewhere around here, and then it releases the T4 and the T3. So when the level of the T4 and T3 lowers down in the body, it gives the message to the pituitary pituitary gland and the hypothalamus, and so that's how it works. So when you say the T3 and the T4, the T stands for the tyrosine or tyrosine. It's an amino group. However, thyroid is actually a lipid-based hormone, which means it's a fat-based hormone. So let's have a look what are the major effects of the thyroid hormone in the body. First of all, people sometimes who doesn't lose the weight, and that could be your thyroid function is a little bit low. So now thyroid can be really, it can be go hyper secretion, and it can be also the hyper secretion. So first of all, we will start with the basal metabolic rate. Sorry, I got it wrong one over there. So it promotes the normal, what's the normal physiological effects? So it promotes the normal oxygen use and BMR and enhance the effects of the sympathetic system. So effects of hypo is when the thyroid hormones are below the normal level. Then your basal metabolic rate drops. You can watch another video of the basal of BMR if you don't know much about it. It will decrease the body temperature, cold intolerance. You will gain the weight, and that's why some people who actually have the hypothyroid hormone, they will gain more fat and more weight, and the appetite can also decrease as well. However, when you are actually hypersecreting the hormone, that is when it is above the normal level, your BMR will increase, your body temperature will increase, your heat intolerance, you will lose the weight because your BMR has increased, and it will increase your appetite. So pretty much both hypo and hypo is not really good for the health. It's the normal level is better for the body. However, during the bodybuilding competition, some people take the T3 hormone. T3, I'm not much into that yet, but and that's what it increases your BMR. And the second point is that carbohydrates, lipid, and protein metabolism. So the normal function is promotes the glucose catabolism, essential for protein synthesis, enhance the liver synthesis of cholesterol. But in the hypo, it does the other way around. So it will decrease the glucose metabolism. It will elevate the cholesterol in blood. It will decrease the protein synthesis. So that means that you cannot build a muscle if you not have enough thyroid hormone in the body. And the hyper would be, it will enhance the catabolism of glucose, protein, weight loss, and loss of muscle mass. And so the next one is the nervous system. And so it promotes the normal development of the nervous system in fetus and infant, and that's due to the iodine as well. And you can watch another video of the iodine which I've done, that how the deficiency of the iodine can cause the mental retardation in the unborn children, and then how I mean in the fetus and the infants. So that's where I've put it, and promotes the normal adult nervous system as well. And in my iodine video, I've put more info about it. So when your body is not secreting much, so in infant, slow or it's slow or deficient brain development, retardation, mental dulling, depression, memory impairment, hyperactive, and reflex. So they are actually really affects the nervous system in a bad way. So you just gotta make sure your thyroid hormone level is under normal level. And when it's really hypo, then it goes the other way: irritability, restlessness, insomnia, and personality changes. And same with the cardiovascular system as well. Promotes the normal function of the heart. And then when it's not secreting much, decreased efficiency of the heart pumping, a low heart rate and blood pressure, and the opposite in the hypersection. So on the muscular system, it promotes the normal muscular development and function. So when it's hyposecretion, it's sluggish muscle action and muscle cramps. And in the hypo, it's muscle atrophy and weakness. You also need for the skeleton system, which is promote normal muscular growth and maturation of the skeleton. So in the children who are deficient of the thyroid hormone, which generally happen due to the deficiency of the iodine in the diet, in child growth retardation, skeletal stunting, and retention of child body promotion in adults, and joint pains. However, if it's secreting a lot, then in child, excessive skeletal growth initially, followed by the short stature in adultery, and then the demineralization of the skeleton. The next one is the gastrointestinal system. It promotes the normal gastrointestinal motility and tone, increase the secretion of the digestive juice. Who would think that, thyroid eye journal is just people. I never knew that much until I just read all that how thyroid hormones plays on so many different systems in the body. And we got 11 systems in the body. So pretty much the body starts from the molecule, then to the cell, to the tissue, then to the organ, then the organ system, and the organism, which is the human being. So then the body is divided into the 11 organ system. So, and pretty much as you can see in this one, it nearly affects on 8 or 9 different organ system. Yep. So, but anyway, let's have a look. With the gastrointestinal system, if it is hypersecreting, depressed GI motility, tone, constipation, and with the hyper, it's the excessive. So that means your food wouldn't able to stay there to digest properly, and that will cause the diarrhea and the loss of the appetite as well. The reproductive system, it promotes the normal female reproductive ability and the lactation. And so in the hypersecretion, it depresses the ovarian function, sterility, and it depresses the lactation, which is really important for the woman who is pregnant. And that's the reason that a pregnant woman, it nearly needs twice the amount of the iodine than the normal people. In females, again, if it is hypersecreting, it will depress the ovarian function again. In males, it can cause the impotency and so on. So as you can now have seen in the two slides, that the thyroid, it's not just limited to one thing. It plays a pretty much important role on many systems of the body. So that's one of the reasons you got to make sure your thyroid level is under normal level. So again, this is the another video. As you can see, it got the thyroid dysfunction, dry face. They are all the hypo and the hypo, and you can read more about it. Now, what are the foods you can add to improve the thyroid level? Iodized salt, baked fish, yogurt, fresh eggs, Brazil nuts, macadamia nuts, pumpkin seeds, and there are some fruits as well, such as strawberry, banana, and so on. But their quantity is a little bit less as compared to these ones. So make sure you include this one in your diet, especially the iodized salt. And yeah, just the last thing about the thyroid before I go is that nearly 2 billion people of the um, uh, nearly 2 billion people of the world are deficient of the iodine, and yeah, as I said, it causes mental retardation and it causes so many other health problems as well, and people are not aware of it. And that was one of the reasons that I decided to make a video. In some developed countries, like for example in Australia, it is mandatory to add the iodine salts in the breads and stuff, but there are some parts of the world where the iodine is really really deficient and people have this severe effects of it. So the best thing I would say, get the blood test done, and if it is a hypo, ask the doctor. If it is a hyper, then again ask the doctor. And as I said in the starting, before you change anything, make sure that you take the medical professional help. And so thanks for watching my video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do it now, and also press the notification button. Thanks guys, see you next week.